Hello. So, so this is why all of everything I've been talking about that's been happening for the past 2 years is cyber terrorism. Is because like after I figured out they hacked like the surround sound and and after the FBI raid, like that happened on my birthday in 2024. Like there were these whole bunch of angry kids, just angry kid voices coming through the TV. And this one girl, she was like, the internet provider can't even get rid of a computer virus. And like, then they were talking about the whole hypnotism and how they were hacking into our bank accounts and looking at all the money Dad had, and the girl was like, "We're gonna take all of it." And then because of the hypnotism, I could hear their voices, and at the same time I wanted to do something. Like they were saying exactly what I was doing. Like if I wanted to stand up, like simultaneously the voices would say stand up. Or if I wanted to go outside or to get in the car or to anything, like the voices like were simultaneously saying everything that I was doing. And I subconsciously could feel it too. Like, because of the voices and everything, the whole mind tricks, the whole mind playing just manipulation, I could like feel the manipulation from the voices. It's science, the girl would say. It's science. I heard a kid one time saying, "We can bend time and space." And because Dad sued for so much money, like we're stuck in this kid controlled Sims slash GTA slash Truman Show just nightmare until dad's ghost is is gone. I was watching this one show called The Shield Hero, and they had like subliminal messages in all in the show. And it was like they were trying to tell me, like, he knows when they're in their bodies. Like it's like body snatchers. They can switch out the spirits with your bodies. I don't know how, but the girl that I heard, she said it's science. It's evil. You're using science for evil. You're using science for domestic terrorism, for cyber terrorism. You're using science to create the apocalypse. They've made like voodoo dolls and stuff like that. Like before the FBI raid, Dad was being extorted by the neighbors. And there were these demon kids that they would show up like once a month demanding money. And they would wait like in the chicken coop. And jump Dad whenever he would, in the mornings, when he would go take care of the chickens. Because I'm hypnotized, I couldn't see him. Like one morning I was so concerned that I waited, for Dad to do his business out in the chicken coop. And it sounded like Dad was being attacked. Like Dad was all grunting and stuff, and it sounded like he was being attacked. But because I'm hypnotized, I couldn't see him. But then after Dad and I came back into the house, like the voices said, the kids said, he couldn't see us. He didn't see us. I wish I could. But because I've been watched my entire life, been manipulated by the demon lord next door, the whole world has the upper hand on me. I can't do anything. There's nothing I can do. Apparently, you've had the upper hand on me my whole life. I'm defenseless. It's probably why I was never good at sports. Well, if like Satan was my neighbor and manipulating my life my whole life, and he had control of the town, that's probably why I was never good playing football, or I never turned into a good wrestler. Well, I only wrestled for 2 months, so that doesn't count. Yeah, I was only on the wrestling team for 2 months, so that doesn't count. It's just something to think about. It's a mess. I guess I'll find out the truth when I pass through the veil. Because apparently my family's being held hostage by the demon lord. And he's not going anywhere anytime soon. Because apparently, according to the records, their bodies are only in their 60s. But they look like they're going to go anytime. If you see them outside, like they are hanging on by a thread. All because I wanted to be left alone. Because I wanted to be left alone, they had to shove their head up my butt. Apparently their heads have been up my butt ever since I was a little kid. Ever since I was born, they put their head up my butt. But You know. Can't do anything about it except to talk about it. I don't even want to plan for spring. Like, I don't even want to plan to grow a garden or anything. It's just programmed into my brain. We have to have a garden. We have to. Some kind of garden. We have to have a garden. In high school, we had our weightlifting scale or whatever, our max scale. Like we put weight on the bar according to our max that we had on the paper. I was up in the 600s. Not anymore. And they had these terribly designed squat machines. It's a terrible design. It was like we use a belt. They use a belt, right? And like the weight, like there's straps, like perpendicular to the weight that hook onto the belt. And then you squat, right? But like you have to put your feet forward, and it's a terrible design for a squat machine. I peaked in high school. I didn't know. No one told me. No one told me that my neighbors were domestic terrorists. If I would have known, I would have moved to Utah. I would have taken my money that I saved up and I would have gotten out of here. I didn't know my domestic terrorist neighbors were plotting to ruin my life. For 25 years. One of my companions offered me his couch in his basement. I should have took him up on his offer. Now he's turning into a big shot movie producer. I can hear the voices. And the voices can manipulate us. But we can't manipulate the voices. It's very frustrating. There's too much money involved in this. When I was on my walk the other day, people were on their roof fixing the roof, and they were talking about some sort of app, like making like $4 billion or something like that. I want my cut. If it's real. When I was in the hospital the one time after the FBI raid, and apparently in the GTA game, like the mob just destroyed everything, took everything out of the house and everything. Then I heard one of the nurses say, like, he can go home with me. So I don't know what's going on. Some sort of body possession, some sort of GTA virtual reality game with mobsters and extortion. I don't know, real or virtual imaginary money being exchanged. It's a mess, and I wanted to stop. Can't prove anything. Can't do anything about it. Got about 3.5 months before I can start planting. A couple of years ago, I bought like a pound of spinach seed. I can pretty much start planting that in March. March, early April. That's the goal. That's the plan. But now that I've told my plan, that might change. It's the big leaf spinach, like the noble leaf spinach, like big, like cooking lettuce. Like you can cook with that lettuce. It's not lettuce, it's spinach. You can cook with that spinach. I'm going to grow a whole bunch. Hopefully it grows before the weeds start trying to take over, so I can keep up with the weeds, plus have my spinach salads and stuff. What would really be cool is the cyber terrorists would stop doing all this terrible things, and they would give me $1 million, so I could like go down to Louisiana or Mississippi or go to Oklahoma, start fresh. But they're never going to do that because they're sociopaths. And they're never going to give up control. It is what it is. Life sucks and then you go.